So, Teofimo Lopez gets upsetted by George Killer Cam. That's what I call him, Killer Cam Kambosos. We're gonna talk about it right here, but later on, I am going to make a gonna get on camera. I'm gonna talk about TL getting his ass whooped and other things related to it. But right here, we're going to talk about my post-fight thoughts, my thoughts on the fight. Let's get into it real quick. So, fight went the whole 12, man. I had made a prediction a while back when they were supposed to fight, and I think I had Teo for KO. But then, I started seeing the press conferences and all the other stuff, the weird shit Teo was doing. And I started seeing fear in his eyes, like doubt. And I kept telling everybody, "Yo, dude, the dude is doubtful. He's gonna go in there. He's gonna try to intimidate George Kambosos with his power, But he looks nervous, man. I'm like, and then I made some shorts, and I was like, George Kambosos is quiet. And it's always when you don't really hear much from somebody, how they probably gonna be dangerous and that they're ready to upset a motherfucker or something like that. And I also made a video a couple of months back saying, could George Kambosos upset Teofimo Lopez? But you guys can go check them out, man. I made quite a few videos touching on these guys, man. But the fight was great, man. That was an awesome fight. I'm not, shout out to Teo still. He got his ass whooped. And he deserved that shit, man. I'm not really a fan of Teofimo Lopez. The shit he says out his mouth, the disrespectful things, man, and the diva-ness and all of the, he hyped himself up for no reason off of that Loma fight. And I truly believe that Loma fight, man. I think Bob told fucking Loma, man, to fucking carry Teo, bro. I don't know if that was what happened. I'm not sure why, but I just found it odd that Loma said that he was injured, but he didn't start really fighting to the end of the fight. He would have started, he would have been like that the whole fight. If he was really injured, he would have been like that the whole fight, not just the beginning of it, man. It was a little strange, man, but I don't want to talk about that. About this fight here, man. Kambosos, as soon as the bell rung, Teo comes out swinging, man, trying to go for the member. First round knockout. They was going for a first round knockout, and it actually almost went the other way. Kambosos dropped Teofimo Lopez. I'm not sure if it's the first or the second time he has been dropped. I think his pro debut, Teofimo's been dropped. So this is Teofimo's second time on the canvas, man. Got right, but George hit him with an overhand right, cracked him. If you see his expression, man, that kind of it humbled Teofimo Lopez, man, for the rest of that fight, man, until like towards the end when he tried to go for broke, and he was just gassed. And in the back of my mind, I was saying that he's gonna try to tire out Teo, and that's exactly what happened. That's what happened. And George Kambosos kept on, that jab he was just hitting with that jab, that check left hook. He was doing some good body work, throwing with some conviction. He never ran from Teo. He just had to, gave himself some good distance. Teo's footwork is trash, man. Absolute garbage truck juice. And Kambosos boxed beautifully, man. Good on the back foot. And then I don't know what round it was where Teo got his eye, the right eye was the first one that was starting to show injuries, man. I think the fourth round, he busted up Teo's eye. He was just snapping him back. Teo really had no answer for nothing that George had. He had no real jab. He caught George Kambosos with a few good jabs towards the middle of the fight, and then like the 10th round, that's when George Kambosos got knocked down by Teofimo. A lot of people are disputing that because they saying it looked like George his foot got tied up a little bit, but it looked like Teo missed that shot. He got to go back and rewind it. I think he may have missed him. I'm not sure, or he clipped him with it lightly and then kind of threw George Kambosos off balance. Nonetheless, it was It was called a knockdown. So both of these dudes caught knockdowns, but George's was more fucking spectacular because nobody thought that he was gonna get a first round knockdown like that. That was dope. Um, that fight, man, T.O. claims it was 10-2. He got it going 10-2. Very delusional kid, bro. That fight was not 10-2. I think a lot of those. I think the cards was a little off, man. They had T.O. And George even, man. I don't really see where it was even, man. I gave George like 8 rounds, bro. I gave George 8 rounds out of that fight, bro. 8-4, man, most. But if they would have called it a draw, that would have been a robbery, man. I was like, yo, I'm looking at the DAZN cards. I'm like, they're gonna rob George Kambosos, bro. I was like, yo, it's either they're gonna say TO won or it's gonna be a draw. I did not expect for that to go the way it went because just the nature of boxing. But George earned that shit, and I would have been upset if they would have said T.O. won that fight, man. Clearly lost. George's eyes started swelling up a little bit. It was a point in that fight, I think around the 9th. He started standing there kind of trading. I was like, bro, nah, man. You got to move, man. Move, stop. Don't. He was getting a little overconfident. And I'm like, damn, bro. He started getting touched up a little bit towards the end of the fight, like 8th, 9th. But George was taking his power, bro. I never saw George wobble. I think I seen T.O. rocked. I'm not sure which round. I seen him rocked in that fight, bro. His legs was a little wobbly. He just had no real answer for George Kambosos. He was tired. He looked just bewildered, bro. He had nothing really for him. George was taking his shots. He kept coming, man. It was like he wasn't he wasn't as aggressive as he usually is in his other fights. George was much more careful and calculated in this fight. I thought George was gonna go in there and just hit him with flurries, and he didn't really do that. But he took his time, stayed poised and controlled and calm, and he ended up being victorious. And Teofimo didn't give him his props. He was all over the place in the post-fight interview. One minute he's saying he's not making excuses, then he turned around and saying it was the weight drain. And I told people he's going to use an excuse. Everybody said he was going to use the weight because he was already talking about dropping the belts. I think he went into that fight already defeated, bro. Just my opinion. And I'm going to get more into actually Teofimo in the next one, man. This one is more about the fight itself. But it's clear he lost. Shout out to George Killer Kambosos. It looks like the Devin Haney fight might be next for Kambosos. And I think George Kambosos saved 135 pounds, man. He saved 135 from being held hostage. Because we was not going to get undisputed. The plan was for Teofimo to drop his belts after this fight. And we wasn't going to get the fight with Tio and Devin. He never was planning on fighting Devin at 135. Heck, I'll even go as far as to say he probably never was going to fight him even at 140. The plan was to fight Kambosos, beat Kambosos, knock Kambosos out, drop the belt, skate up to 140, and avoid Devin Haney. That's what the plan was. And you see what happens when cherries go wrong, bro. This is when cherries go wrong, and I'm going to get into that in the next one. This is just my post-fight thoughts. I thought George held his own. Still was a great fight. Tio showed he got a bit of warrior in him, but he also was defeated. He was defeated in there. You saw his facial expressions. He was frustrated. George got under his skin, whooped his ass, and took his belts back to Australia. Shout out to George Kambosos. I believe he is the first 135-pound Australian champion unified. So now the Devin Haney fight, now this is even making the Devin Haney becoming undisputed even more realistic now. And I'll get into that later on in another video. But stay tuned for the next video coming up. Teofimo Lopez gets beat up by George Kambosos. So that's coming up next. This is Rebel Life Boxing. Love you guys. Catch you guys later on the next one. Peace.